Holy cow, it says full high definition. Wouldn't that be something else? All right, guys, I think we're here. 7 p.m. Eastern, starting off for the Wednesday night live chat. My phone just told me I was live, but you think I can find it on YouTube? No. Oh, that's it. Listen to myself. So how are you guys doing tonight? Fine. Wednesday wasn't too hot, but I'm telling you, it was muggy up here. Who do we got over here in the chat? Right off the bat, we got Dwight Curley. He was first popping in. Roy Ethlem, nice to see you guys. And I'm posting in the chat here if you guys want to come up and talk about what inspired your layout tonight. I'd love to have you. Come on up. Tell everybody. Tell me. Hey, Dwight Curley's got a CP beside his name. That's because he's hit that join button down at the bottom and become a member. Helping us get prizes for the Wednesday Night Live chat is what my members do. And Patreon, of course, does the same thing. Who else do we got? Digger Evans, nice to see you. Bud, Hillbilly Railroad. Norman Rowe. Hey, Bud, I owe you a wig. So Norman Rowe gave me a super chat last time that I did my GoPro live, and I missed it. I'm very sorry, Norman. There you go, buddy, just for you. So thank you very much, Norman Rowe, for the super chat. Last time we did the GoPro live following the train. And speaking of train, I got one on the layout tonight. I just turned it on. I have not tried it out. So hopefully it doesn't come down the helix faster than it goes up. Boy, you sound really good. Really? That's good, because I've moved the mic in front of me for a change. I don't know why. Just kind of a concept. M. Peter LL, how are you, buddy? And we got RJ78 Productions. Hey, how are you, bud? John Schoolkill River Valley. Nice to see you. Ralph Greenwood. Hey, buddy. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in one of mine for a bit. Maybe I've been missing it, though. Anthony Dodge, the Model Train Outsider. Nice to see you, too. Nathan DeLay. Wow, man. The scratch build Nathan DeLay that you're doing for TSG Multimedia, that's extreme. That's awesome, man. I like it. Your scratch builds are great, though. Dragon Lover 68, nice to see you. And we got Joshua Parliament popping in. Chris Mitchell, nice to see you. And Steve Chilvers. And we got Kyle Stevens. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? I say that all night, eh? Caboose 121. And like I said, guys, I'm going to put it in the chat a few times. Pop into my basement if you want. And we're going to talk about what inspired you guys to build the model railroad that you're going to build. White Wall Wheels, how are you? Container Man 68, my brother from another mother. Nice to see you, too. And speaking of seeing my other brother, Strasbourg, last weekend of August. Guys, if you can still make it, that's awesome. But I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. The border opens up, kind of, sort of. I guess if you got a good reason to go over, they'll let you. But now the Canadian border guards are on strike. So they're holding everybody at the border basically for anywhere from a half hour to an hour. So if you want to go across, it's going to take you forever. And you get like, say, 20 cars in front of you. You're going to be there a long time waiting to get across the border. So David Hunstein, nice to see you, bud. Weber Model Railroad, how's that shed doing of yours, bud? I haven't seen any videos or anything of yours. Joe Rader, nice to see you. Norman, that's a little warm, bud. And it's warm in my shed. I think the air conditioner broke. So that's might be what I'm doing this weekend, is buying an air conditioner for out here. Oh, Kyle Stevens, everybody saying hi to everybody. That's great. And we do have one person down on the chat. N-Scale Union Pacific Evanston Subdivision. How are you doing, Roy Smith from Panama? And there's Artie. Nice to see you. Lynn McCurley. Whole bunch of people popping in. This is great. And Steve saying hi to Artie. Norman saying hi to Roy. Dragon Lover saying hi to Lynn. I just sit here and read the chat all night. How's that? I'm okay. I got Gatorade, so I can do this all night. CP368 Productions. Nice to see you. I thought you were going to be out doing some videos. Nope, not going to work. You were glitching, Sparky, and if you were, I would have been. Huh? What? What? Glitching? I don't get it. Hopefully the stream's coming in okay. I am a Smurf now. There you go. I'm going to tell everybody right now. Some people, I don't know how you become a Smurf because I don't do it. YouTube just makes a bunch of people Smurfs. So, and I just let it go. As long as nobody's abusing the fact that they're blue, they have a wrench, it's no big deal to me. So, and if you want one, let me know. I can always do that too. Buffering a wee bit. And Norman Rose saying 5x5 Sparky. And Leslie Giplin saying hi to a few people. So that's pretty cool. So last time we actually did a live stream, we held a contest. What did I do with that stuff? Gonna give away the Kirby kit, HO Scale Church, in this small box. HO Scale, it says HO Scale right there. HO Scale, small box. And an N Scale Church in a really big box. N Scale is in a big box, HO Scale in a small box. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I have not opened these. So tonight, well, I know who won these kits. You guys are obviously going to have to stick around to figure out if you won these kits or not. I think a couple people might be pretty happy. Like I said, I haven't opened those yet. So if they're in German, you're going to have to let me know so I can laugh at you, whoever won them. So, Brian Ferguson, good day to you, bud. And New Fenris Railroad popping in. BNSF 6951. So yeah, St. Mary's Church Model Railway. Nice to see you. And Sean McGee, I've seen your name swing by a couple times, and I probably didn't say hi to you. So hi, how are you? Yeah, so talking about the Strasbourg meet and greet at the end of August. Like I said, if you guys can still go, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to make it. But that doesn't mean you guys can't all meet up. So if you had plans to go to Strasbourg the last weekend of August, go. Have a good time. I'm not sure if you got to book your tickets before you actually go. RJ's in here. I think he's actually been to Strasbourg already once this year. Might be a couple other people too. So if you guys know that you have to book your tickets ahead of time, just say that in the chat so people know. But if I can make it, guys, I will make it. It's a 7-hour drive for me. Not a big deal. But if I'm going to get stuck at the border for like 4 or 5 hours, then I'm just not going to waste the money or the gas or the time to make it. So, Robert Sacco, it's nice to see you. Peter, popping in. We got Nate Jackson saying hi. What do we got in here? We got 44 people. It seems like a lot more than 44 people, all the names I've been saying. So I just want to touch up on this Jack challenge that's going around. Triple Dog Dare Ya to run a hopper train. And it's catching on really good. He started with 3 people, and the 3 people that he did gave out to 3 other people. And I'm pretty sure there's only a couple people that have not done it. Now, Roy Smith from Panama, you have been challenged to do that. I just forget who did it. So if anybody knows who did that, put that in the chat too so Roy can see it. He can go over and check out that video if he's not sure or he hasn't seen it yet. And then he can do the challenge too. Sparky, your camera is glitching some. That's because we're on 1080. So hold on. Well, I'll bring up a couple people first and then I'll start screwing around with mine. Someday we'll actually be able to meet at Strasbourg. And Roy Smith, it's still, the date I'm going to put up here is May 20th to the 22nd in the year 2022. So a lot of 20s and a lot of 22s all goes together. You just got to remember the month of May. And that's the next official YouTube meet and greet that I'm going to do. So people want to kind of book your holidays or whatever, or plan it anyway, so you can start doing that. Like I said, the whole reason with the camera, it says is the 1080, but I think this is only the second time I've tried to stream in 1080. So if it keeps glitching and I can't get it changed, we're going to have to put up with it and just put up with the other people that I bring up in the chat tonight. But I'll know enough for next time to drop it down to 720 again. So, yep, I've seen it, but I haven't responded yet. Okay, that's great. And that's what I'm getting at is this Jack challenge. Everybody that's seen their name or heard their name get challenged has really done it. And I think that's cool. That's what this community is all about, is really having fun and sticking together. And challenges like that does it. And what a great way to do it. Come out and run trains. We need a reason to run trains. Yeah, whatever. So All right. So, do we want to know who won that contest? Let me know in the chat, and we might just get to that. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people down in the chat that I'm going to bring up. And the biggest thing I'm going to talk about tonight, guys, is the reason we're doing our model layouts. What is inspiring you to do the layout that you're doing? Is there a town that you're doing it, a rail yard that you're doing it from, industries that you want on your layout that's in your neighborhood type thing that you're doing it, childhood memories, pictures you've seen in a book. Maybe it's a railfan camera that you've been watching all the time and you want to do that. Hence why I've got the road view for the GoPro live stream. So to get in on mine, I grew up in St. Thomas, Ontario for a lot of my life. When I was going to high school, I had to cross the Conrail rail yard. There was always 3 GP7 high noses in there just rumbling away all the time. And I fell in love. I could sit on the edge of those tracks and I could listen to those things just hum all day. Back in the 80s and the 90s, that station was running anywhere from 100 to 150 trains a day. Long freights. A lot of the Conrail locomotives coming through were GP38s and GP40s. Chessie System was just around the corner from where I lived. They had a turntable, big roundhouse, everything. My mom fell in love with Chessie System, named a couple of her cats Chessie. And Chessie System actually ran through the Conrail yard. They had one main line that went through too. There was actually 4 main lines that ran through that yard. So I want to kind of base my whole layout off that yard. Hence why when you guys are doing the GoPro live and you get at my station, that you can kind of see behind me, that's 5 feet long, that station right there. And that's kind of what I'm basing it all off. I'm going to have the railroad shops. I'm going to have the, it's not the turntable. Well, I'm going to have a turntable too, but it's that flat one that goes back and forth. I forget what that's called. Transfer table. That's it. It's going to have one of those and a yard. Big yard. The rest of it basically is just going to be freelance. I'm going to put some towns and businesses, industries around. I'm going to name them what they were, but they're not going to be prototypical. The yard that I want to model, guys, is that one right there. And then if you go down here, this was more of the year that I was there, this bottom picture. So you can see all the buildings that are in it. See if I can actually point. Whoa, right there. That's the big rail shops. This one over here was a car shop. The transfer table was behind that. And over there, everything's backwards. And back here was a turntable. And over here was another car fix-it shop type thing, a loading platform. That was the big station right there, which is 5 feet long. So you can, just by that one picture, that 5-foot building that's right there in the middle, you can kind of see how big that yard actually was. And like I said, Chessie System ran through there. And as the teenager going to high school, I fell in love with that. Watching the trains all the time, watching the guys switch cars back and forth, working in the shops and everything else. That's my dream. That's what I want to model. Anything after that on my layout, like I said, it's just going to be freelance or proto-freelance, whatever that's called. That's my dream. That's where my layout is based from. That's why I do model railroading. I want to actually get that accomplished. So like I said, I do have some people down in the basement. I'm going to bring up Artie and Hillbilly right off the bat, and they can kind of answer the same question. I will put the link back in chat later on if we got more time. But like I said, I want to know what inspires everybody what they're doing. And let's get this a little bit better. Whee! There we go. So Artie, that's the big question for tonight is you're building a layout. What inspired you to do it?
Okay, well, I'm practicing for my dream layout to be truthful about it. I've been in modeling trains since I was a young'un. I just haven't had a big room to, like some of you guys have, so I had to compress everything.
Yeah, selective compression. We've all got to do that at some point.
Oh yeah. And I've moved at the moment, I moved into an area where I used to go to high school. And the layout that I'm working on now, it's not really prototypical. I was one of those kids that used to catch a train to school, but there was no train line coming to my high school. I think you guys call it truancy. And the joke was, well, it wasn't so much of a joke, but I used to catch a train to Sydney because I knew that our principal would not find us there. But now that I've moved back in my area, I'm thinking I would like to do the mountain line here as a prototypical line. I haven't got the room. Try to do my home station.
I just got to interrupt you there for a second there, Artie. Somebody has a TV or something going on and we can hear it. And RJ, I know I can see that you're driving, so I will let you know when I'm going to bring you up. So you just keep driving, bud. I won't give you a spook or nothing.
Sorry.
All right. Maybe somebody got their TV there or not, but yeah, sorry, Artie. Just keep going there, bud.
Yeah. So the thing was, at my hometown, I had to catch a bus to come to school, come to my high school. Now, you can imagine, if I go left, I go to the train station. If I go right, I go to the bus stop. Somehow my feet always took me to the train station. I'm catching a train to the Sky School. We don't have one. We don't have a train line. Never has been. So with my current layout, I decided to go a bit of freelance. Just sort of like model my high school area, like the area that I'm in now, what it would have looked like if there was a train station actually here in Berkeley, Australia. I've got a lot of hills around here, so I like doing mountain trains, mountain rail modeling. So it works out perfectly. But now what I'm trying to do is put everything in perspective. How it would have been, how it would have looked with the area the way it was when I went to high school.
So basically what you're taking is your childhood memories and then turning it into kind of fantasy land of what you wish it would have been back then.
Yeah. Look,
that's kind of a cool idea, actually.
Yeah, look, down by the lake here, I'm basically putting what you see in my background here, my first stage, is basically the rail yard that would be beside the lake. I've actually done a video recording of where it's supposed to look. But now this line's gradually going to go up over the hill. And trying to make it look like it was meant to be here. If you understand what I mean. It's just, it's just a childhood memory, as you said. You know, what it would have looked like this area if you had a train line going through it.
So with the progress that you got going, how far along are you?
Well, my biggest problem is my hands at the moment. I am just about finished with this section here. I'll swap the computer around. I've still got to do I'm finishing detailing here. This is coming up. I'm going to repaint the turntable and weather it. And the roundhouse, that's all coming up. I'm going to put lights and that in it and wire it up properly. Once that's completed, I'm going to do another layer up here, which is going to have the main station. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Once this is completed, I'll move the desk that I'm in, that I'm on now, because it's going to be too big to have an 8x4 board, which is going to be behind me here. And
so with what you're doing, are you actually going to put your high school in there too?
I never didn't think about that.
No, sorry. I was just asking, like, it's the fantasy that you're doing. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have this portion here that's open, and I can actually fit it there. So it's not a bad idea, Spark. You think so, that? Didn't think of that.
There you
go. So it's going to come up with another tier. I'm doing away with the helix because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the train climbing up the mountain and disappear into a tunnel, the next level. I'm hoping to get it done by this time next year.
Yeah. Well, we've all got the dream of trying to get it done at some point. So I'm going to cut you off and move right down to Hillbilly just to give everybody a bit of a chance to talk about what they're doing with their layout. You can stay down in the basement if you want. We got time later on. I can bring you back up. It's completely up to you, bud.
Yep, no problem.
Hey, Nancy, how are you doing? We got James Galton popping in saying hi. BNSF 6951's a little behind in the chat. Still hears a TV on in the background. We won't tell anybody it was Hillbilly doing that.
Sorry.
Oh, how are you tonight, sir?
Good. How about yourself?
I am not doing too bad. I'm actually kind of excited to give these two churches away. I know who won them. I want to tell them. I know they're here in the chat, but you guys can wait.
Well, congrats to everybody who won it.
Oh, for sure.
No, you were, me and the wife was talking about this morning. That's why that you brought this up too.
Yeah, I was just outside your kitchen door listening.
We were sitting on the porch having coffee, and she asked me this morning, why are you doing what you're doing in the layout room? To run trains. What else? You know? And my father-in-law was a coal miner from 41 to 78. And he, there was a line that ran behind us for the coal cars. And his job when he got off of the mines was to check the cars and make sure they were locked. Nobody was screwing with them and everything. Then he would come down a stone throw from the house to work. And I was born in Ohio, in Akron, and the yards were like you said, 20 minutes from me. So growing up as a kid, we always jumped the cars and took them to Youngstown or Pennsylvania. We got on one that we thought was going to stop local, but it didn't. It never slowed down. And it got up to about 50, 55 miles an hour. And, you know, you're there for the ride. You can't jump, nothing like that. We ended up in Parkersburg, West Virginia. So I had to call my mom and explain to her why I wasn't in school and what I'm doing in Parkersburg, West Virginia. But I want to model the area I live now. It's a coal mine area. West Virginia. It has, in the era that I'm doing, 70 to 80, it was B&O, Chassis, and CSX that ran up through here. And I want to kind of do this area for respect out of my father-in-law.
I'm hearing quite a bit of us so far saying school. A lot of memories back from the school days.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like when you was in school, you that's when you really investigated life. You might as well say. You took chances because, you know, when you're a kid, you're not going to get prosecuted for breaking a window or catching a train or something like that. You know, they're going to slap you on the hand and say, don't do it again. But
hey, Nathan, I gotta mute you until you're ready to talk, bud, because your mic's just going click, 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 click. So
and,
I'll bring you up in a bit, bud.
It's like everything that we done was in our high school days. And now we're kind of old enough to where we want to relive them.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest things too. They got a museum there now. Most of the tracks are all tore up in St. Thomas, except for the outskirts of town. There's 2 rail yards basically left, but this huge yard that was there is completely gone, except for the locomotive shops about 3 tracks that are sitting out front of it, but there's no joining tracks. You can't get to it by a train. You got to, like, if Thomas is to show up there, they got to crane him in and bring him by truck. But that's all that's left is a museum. And I can go there and kind of relive the school days because now they've made a park there. So you can kind of walk across. The grass is there. There's still a couple rails here and there that you have to step over for memory purposes. But the boxcar and the platform, there was a loading platform back there, and it was just a ramp and a concrete slab. You could drive up a forklift and go into a boxcar. The boxcar is still there, and that loading platform still there from when I was a kid.
That's cool.
So
That's
hopefully
cool.
I can
That's
get
what
that.
it's all
I'm
about.
going to remember that part for sure. So.
Well, brother, I'm going to jump out of here and let somebody else have time. I appreciate you letting us jump on, and you watch your Helix, dude. There's a train going on it.
Yeah, as long as it keeps going and not goes fast, we're okay. All right.
Hey, y'all
Well,
have a good evening.
all right. You can pop down to the basement or just pop right out. It's completely up to you. But RJ, you ready? I can't hear you. Oh, there you go, bud. RJ78, bud.
No, I've never been to Strasbourg.
There you go. So do you have to buy your tickets before you go?
Well, we didn't ride the train the day that I went. I went with Nick's Crossing. Let me know if am I too loud? Do I sound okay? Because I'm using my Bluetooth right now.
No, I can tune you out.
Okay, perfect. Well, everybody else, I don't want to blast anybody out, but we didn't actually ride the train. We rode the mini train that was there. I guess I still got to do that video. I haven't done that video yet, but we didn't even go in the museum that day. It was more of we just went there to film 611 and 420 or not. Whatever the other one is, Sarah. I forget the number off the top of my head. I'm confusing it with 425. That's a Jim Thorpe.
Yeah, you got 611 and then 90s there too, I think.
Is it 90? I thought it was a.
Or is there
a 3-digit one?
855 maybe? I know 90s down there for quite a bit of it too, but
I don't know.
I don't want to
my pictures, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to tease myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure I can't get to it at the end of August, but hopefully a lot of other people can. So
yeah, I guess it helps to buy your tickets in advance. That way you have them when you go there, so that you don't have to worry about waiting in too long of a line or anything like that. Because the day that we went, it was actually busy. There was a lot of people there. So even the museum, like the day that I sent you the pictures from the museum, we got lucky because it was right after it opened up, so it wasn't that busy. But then since we've gone back, the couple times that we've gone back, it's been a madhouse there. So with everybody, you know, with all their cabin fever from the showstopper, trying to get out and do what they can, you know. So
exactly, and that's just what it is too. Everybody finally they're opening doors to stuff. It's like, okay, don't care where I'm going, I'm just going.
yeah, exactly. Try to see as much as we can while we can, you know. Kind of. That's I think the mentality right now. So, but
So,
touching on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want another question there. You did join in that Jack challenge for the hoppers running.
I
You
did.
ran
Yes.
your one hopper. Very awesome.
Yep.
That was a good video you did. So hopefully everybody will.
Yeah, I know
check
you
the
love that
video
Penn
out.
Central.
Yeah, don't give it away. Let people go watch it. But the
You
other
know,
thing,
that's the only one I have that makes noise.
yeah.
So
you got-
I know.
Do you got any passenger cars?
Yes, I have passenger cars.
Okay, because
I have
M.
3
Peter
sets of
LL
passenger cars.
M. Peter LL has set out another challenge to get people to run passenger trains. So I'm thinking about checking his video out too. So that's
You
M.
can call
Peter
me out on
LL.
that too.
Well, I might call out other people though. So,
Okay.
so your layout. What's inspiring you to get going on this?
Right now, I really don't have the layout per se. Like I said, I'm still running the train on the floor, as you saw in that video. There's carpet underneath of it. So, my layout from when I was a child, I still have it. It's a 4x8 sheet of plywood with a bunch of tracks on it that somebody had given me years ago. And then I have another one that's a 4x6, I think, that just has an oval on it, but I haven't found that one. But our house is so full of stuff that we have no room. I have no room to set it up. So that's what's holding me back. But I would think probably what, you know, my inspiration, I guess, for wanting to get back into it, because I was out of it for a long time, you know, since I was a kid. Growing up as a kid, one, going back to the school days, like everybody's saying, but for me, it was elementary school because I remember seeing Conrail running in and out of our local town, not too far from my elementary school. But unfortunately, I lived too far away from the school to walk home. It would take me like 3 hours to walk home. So I rode a bus. But riding the bus, we would cross the tracks and I would see the Conrail trains rolling through town into the train station and whatnot. And that line actually used to run all the way up into Bethlehem Steel. But it's since been cut off above Quakertown and is now a rail trail from there up to Bethlehem. But so between that and my father had a layout in the attic of his apartment. And I remember every time as a kid, my parents were divorced. So my father lived on his own. So whenever my brother and I would go down to his place for, excuse me, for visitation, the first thing I would do is go up to the attic to see what was new on the layout, or what did he change, or what did he build, or what did he add, or is there a new train, or, so it was always a big thing for me that, it got to the point where I think I told you this before in a different live stream about how I still have my first train that he got me for Christmas the one year, which was the big box next to the chair with the lamp on it that we thought was just a coffee table until Christmas Day, and he tells me that it's mine, and I got to unwrap it, and it was a train set. And then, of course, she's like, all right, now you got your own. Keep your hands off of mine.
That's usually the way it goes, too. So.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I still remember when I got my first train set, and I've said this in other live streams and stuff, too, is I got it. My dad and I took it downstairs. We put it on a piece of plywood, and when I wanted to run it, I had to go get my dad so he could run the train, and I could lay beside it and watch it go around circles.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yep. Well, I got to run my own because it was in this like styrofoam mountain set thing that it would go around in an oval. Yeah, it was lifelike. I actually found a picture of it on one of the boxes of one of the other trains that I got recently. So that was kind of cool that I'd love to find that again because I don't have that part. I have the other set. I have the entire set, the box, the track, the controller, the train, everything, but I don't have that. That would be neat to be able to find and replace that. But
I think they still make those little foam mountains. So.
Yeah, well, this one was like the track would actually lay in it, and it would go up a hill on the one side, and it would do like a kind of a figure eight over top of itself. It was pretty neat. But so between that too, we would always go. He would take us to the hobby shops, so I get to see what was new in the hobby shops back then. This was in the '80s, so I get to see all that. Plus, we would buy and build 1/25th scale model kits of cars and stuff. So he got me into doing that too, which I have a bunch of those. So I got into a lot of things. I'm one of those that's I'm into a lot of different things. And it's like the more you get into, the less time you have for other things. And then it's like trying to figure out, okay, I want to budget time for this, and then budget time for that, and then budget time for that. And it's like you have no time to do nothing. So you end up just getting too much crap and no time to do anything with it. So
Norman Rose saying Norman Rose saying you can see those on eBay every once in a while. So
okay, yeah, I can't see the chat right now. So, but yeah, I'll have to keep my eyes open and look for that then.
Well, there was one good part about the chat. There we got Nuts and Bolts 77.
Nope.
Super chat. Thanks very much. It says hello, Sparky, and all in the chat.
Going to George Washington on us tonight.
I'm not talking to you. So with the layout, we'll just one little final part there for yours is when are you gonna get it up on a piece of wood or something? Are you gonna build a layout something like mine in the background? Are you gonna keep it with the 4x8 sheet and kind of go from there? Make it expandable?
I guess first things first is I got to get rid of a bunch of crap to make space.
Yard sale.
Yeah. Go to the flea markets and stuff. Get rid of stuff. That would be the first step, obviously, because there's no room to move around. So, yeah, we could our house could end up on one of those hoarder shows. It's bad.
Don't go too far there.
Yeah, I know.
RJ78, love the shirt, and I saw the NS611 being rebuilt in Spencer, North Carolina, and under steam heading out to Strasbourg. So that's cool.
Awesome. That must have been neat to see being rebuilt. That's
doubt.
Awesome. So,
So I'm going to throw you back down in the basement unless you got one more thing you want to say.
there was something else I wanted to touch on but I can't remember what it was now. So yeah, go ahead, throw me in the basement. I'm used to being in the basement, so.
Yeah, sure. If you're still driving home, keep going. Like I said, I won't surprise you or nothing. I'll let you know if I'm going to bring
I'm
you
actually
back.
sitting here time lapsing the storm rolling in too with my other camera, so I figure, this is perfect timing.
I like it. I'm going to bring Nathan DeLay back up because he kicked himself out and then brought himself in. So
Alrighty.
we'll find out
everyone.
what he's gonna say. See you in a bit.
Mm.
Hey, Nathan.
Hi, Sparky.
You got your hair cut, bud.
Thanks.
You might have done that a while ago, though. So
Yeah, a few days.
yeah. So you're doing another scratch kit for TSG Multimedia.
Yep. Yeah.
It's looking good. So if anybody has not seen that yet, yeah, head over to Nathan DeLay's channel and check it out. All the scratch building stuff he does is pretty spectacular. So now you just started a new layout again. Like you had one, you ripped it apart and you started again. What was the inspiration for starting over?
It was like frustrating because I think I done it too fast, and then it's like this isn't working for me. It's kind of pointless to keep fixing it if it keeps breaking more often. Yeah. And I had
Hey, train freak. There you go, bud. Give you the glasses too with the beard. No wig. You spelt wig wrong, so you don't get it. And Daniel, welcome to the train crew, bud. Keep going there, Nathan.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, another thing that inspires me to make more of a layout scene or something is like an inspiration idea. Like, what about if it was a 50s town or maybe one of those towns in Cuba or something like that.
So you're gonna try to do it like a certain time frame?
I guess like a certain time frame, but what if it was like modern times, something like that?
There we'll go, Four Eyes. Haha, why not? Yeah, and I guess that's another thing too. Like depending on what locomotives are rolling stock and stuff, you can always change that by adding or subtracting different rolling stock and stuff. So, all right.
Yeah.
Sparky needs to get a hula hoop skirt. No, I don't, Hillbilly. Forget that, buddy. No skirts on this one. I draw the line at the wigs.
Yeah, I guess like another inspiration thing is like when I first went on Amtrak in 2019 after I met Wilmer and DJ, it's like, this is fun. And then I thought I gotta get more trains from Amtrak.
Yeah, so no, that makes a lot of sense too. Like when we're kids or young or something, I'm going to be eating this hair for a bit. Thanks a lot, freak. I might have got it. But when we're younger and stuff, we're just getting into the model trains. The 4x8 sheet is the start for most of us, if not all. Start with a few houses, a couple trees. Like RJ said, you get the little foam mountain, stick it on there. Everything's great. But as you get older, or you come back into the hobby and you start getting the inspiration by what you grew up with. So yours is the Reading Railroad. That's right close to you.
Yep.
A lot of your layout based off of that?
It's more of a freelance thing because the reason why I'm freelancing because many years ago I thought I would represent the whole place and I didn't have enough experience for like laying track and stuff not very well. And then I thought this is too much to model one specific place for every little tiny detail. So I decided it's better off for me to go freelancing and make it more easier. Yeah.
Yeah, and like again, once you get a little bit older, you're better at stuff, a little more skills develop and stuff like that. So laying track's not as hard or doing track plans or anything like that. So
yeah, I guess another thing to add is I have been thinking about like doing a Garden Railway, not unlikely, but or maybe likely, but the point is the reason why I thought of doing it because of something new and fresh and a fresh perspective.
that's another good point too. I think that's why we always say our layouts are never done. We get things done and then again you move them through your layout and getting more scenery and more stuff done, and then you go back to some of the first stuff you looked at and did, and it's kind of like, oh, I can do so much better now. So you rip it up, start again. So I just did that with my farm that I had on my 3rd level.
Mm.
It's not there anymore. Ripped it all out on the weekend. So I'm going to put some foam up there, and I got plans for like lots of trees and a little river to run beside the track and everything. So, and that come from DJ's model train, his channel. I remember him doing a video, and he says, why don't people model rivers and stuff beside their track? Because most tracks follow a river or a stream. And I thought, hey, why don't I do that on the 3rd level? Because you can't really see it from down here anyway. So,
yeah.
And no, I won't be wearing a kilt either, New Fenris.
Yeah, I think it's, if I could add it, I think it's also about like how much buildup of over the years has like happened. For example, the place I grew up, it was all rivers and canals, so there's like competition stuff. When the railroads took over, well, actually had their own railroad, they like right away made the canals outgo business, and I think that builds up over time and towns and stuff connections.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it's all based on time and what you remember and everything else like that too.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else you gotta add there, Nathan? And I'm gonna bring up Gus.
I got one more.
Sure.
Another thing that it might be a crazy idea for some people, but not to me. Like how crazy that might be. When I build like an actual model, like a double-decker locomotive, like a double-decker bus, and then I realized, hey, if I could build this in real life, it'll be more interesting. And that's the true. I think that's the excitement for me to do more.
Well, like I said, your scratch builds are amazing, and it's I find them quite exciting. Also, like I got a couple from you, but I also videos I see from other people when they're getting your scratch buildings, and the way people light up when they get them. They are truly amazing things, and what you're doing for other people is awesome.
Yeah, that's the excitement from the other people makes it more worth the while.
For sure.
Okay. Well, I won't take long on this program.
We can hear you.
I guess I'll be going.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Nathan, I'm gonna talk to Gus for a bit here. If you want to pop back in later on, you can.
Sure. See ya.
See you, bud. Thanks for joining. All right, Gus, the big question. You got a layout? What inspired you?
I'll just let you show. I'll turn the camera here around and just let you see what I got here.
There you go.
It's a 4x5 027 basically with fast track 036. I got inside and outside, both the same diameter. I just lengthened the tangent between them. That gives me close track centers, but anyway, as long as you stay with the traditional size, you don't have. If you got two semi-scale pieces, you got to run them the same direction. But anyhow, this started out as a holiday display in 2003. It never came down. So I've retired from the railway. I was a track man for 39 years, worked rail gangs. So now I got the time, and this is just sort of like the starter of something, bigger down the road. I've stockpiled track, rolling stock, motive power. Only thing I'm truncated on right now is electric, the transformers, and all I got right now is just these two. And for some reason, transformers have come in short supply. So it's if there's ever a show again, might can pick up one or two there. But anyway, I thought things were getting better, but it looks like it's starting to turn south again as far as the COVIDity goes. So just gonna have to hunker down for a little while longer.
Yeah, I know. There's a couple places, and I think they're threatening it around here too. Is version 4 of the Showstoppers on the way? We got to be more vigilant and all this. But
okay, you must be in Canada.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I heard the hillbilly in here a little bit earlier. Was he from up around West Virginia, up around Man, West Virginia, Logan County?
He's probably chat, so he might just answer you.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, it's a thrill to be on your show. It's I really take in these streams and been doing it now for over a year, and it's been really something to. It's like keeping the community connected.
Yeah, for
And-
sure. Especially
Yeah,
during the showstopper thing, we all needed.
Showstopper. I like the way you say that. Yeah, everybody has a, but Showstopper's a good one. Yeah.
Well, originally,
There's no-
I just named it the Showstopper because originally it did stop my YouTube meet and greet that I was supposed to do in Strasbourg, and I
Oh.
just figured I'd call it the Showstopper. And the other problem that we had here is if you started calling it by its real name when it first started, YouTube would actually shut down your stream. So
No.
everybody just picked up the word Showstopper and we all kind of ran with it. So
No, good.
Yeah.
Well, we know what you're talking about. Yeah,
everybody
everybody.
here does. Everybody here does. So
So,
you're
yeah.
saying you stockpile and track and stuff like that. Are you going to try to make a bigger layout?
oh yeah, I'm going to get a yard barn, and then I want to try to set up at least a 4x8 in there, maybe go a little bigger. And this is just 2 bench tables with a piece of plywood on top, and then I put foam down and went from there. It got it up out of the floor anyway.
Yeah.
So-
Well, that's
but,
what RJ's
um,
got to do. Got to get his up off the floor for a bit.
I got a circle of HO Cato track on the outside, but that's just there for looks. And I got a street car that I run on it. It's not scale, of course, but in this little realm of you go with reasonable facsimiles. You don't count rivets here. You let your imagination take over at some point.
That's kind of the way I like it too. You don't need to be a rivet counter for everything. Like some things, maybe, but have fun with the hobby. Put what you want. Like I said, I want to do the rail yard of St. Thomas the best of my ability that I can do from a couple pictures that I've got. The rest of my
Well-
layout's just going to be freelance, basically, with the names that are in this book of the towns that my trains went through. That's it.
There's a lot of people that can compress these things and really do a great job at it. And a person needs to have sort of an eye for art when it comes to that.
It
Yeah.
is. You're definitely going to be a jack of all trades. So for
Right.
sure, doing this kind of thing. So Sean McGee wants to know yard barn. Does that mean a shed?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they get them pre-built up here, and they're before the prices went crazy. You could get one for about $3,500. It was pretty nice. But now you got to put in for it and then wait for a price because the price is going up on the materials.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
Yeah, they're trying to, and they say, well, look, we got at least make a 20% profit on these things, or it just don't pay us to do it. And, well, yeah. So
Prices are
yeah.
starting to come back down a little bit. So, hey,
That's
William,
right.
wake up.
yeah,
William, don't
So,
say anything. But wake up, bud.
yeah. Like I said, I was thrilled to be here, and go ahead and kick me down to the basement. I got company coming here to mow. I got a guy mowing the lawn, and I got to pay him. So
I just got one more question for you.
I'm
Basically,
glad
is
you
where
let me
are you-
come in here. Okay,
And where are
How
you
do you-
from?
Bluefield, West Virginia.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Bluefield.
All righty. Thanks for joining. And your
Thank
layout
you,
looks pretty
sir.
cool. I like that. So it was really nice.
All right.
New Fenris. How are things?
Hey, Sparky. Doing good.
Don't yell at me, man. Corey Page, nice to see you, bud. We got Creepy013 popping in. Daniel Lukud. Daniel Coombs, nice to see you. A few other names popping
Yeah.
in there. I do got to say, guys, at the bottom, there's that join button. Daniel there, he just joined. There's 99 cents. There's $1.99. I did add some other things too. So even if you are a member, you can go back and maybe upgrade if you wanted to. But all the money I get from that stuff, and you guys know how I run my channel, everything I get out of YouTube goes right back to you guys. I get nothing for my late or nothing like that. More people that give us a couple bucks here and there, the better the prizes are going to be. And I just got to say, like, HO Scale Church Kirby kit, not a cheap kit. N scale Kirby kit in this really big box, which is bigger than the HO box. Still, I'm not going to be able to figure that out. Again, not a cheap kit. So, does anybody in the chat want to know who won the N scale one or the HO scale one? I want to see in the chat right now, HO or N scale, and whatever gets most, I'll let that person know who won for that scale. So I got to see it in the chat. The Train Freak, I joined. Yes, you did, because you got CP right beside your name, bud. So that's the other thing is that there's a couple different emojis or something you can stick up there too in the chat. So that's always kind of cool. CPNA, or where'd that go? Oh, CP368, being there, I think. Okay. Ken Ammos, nice to see you. All right, William. I've kept you in the basement long enough. Chris Mitchell, nice to see you. Chris Mitchell wants to know who won N scale, HO. So you're building a layout, multi-purpose layout, basically, right?
Yeah, it's originally I had a couple of N-scale trains from 20 years ago, and when I got married and had kids, I took that down out of that room, and I still had them when we moved into my father's place. Well, I got into 40K miniatures and playing tabletop games, and I decided to combine them. And with the help of you guys, I think it'll be 4 years this November that I've been on YouTube, and I started the original layout inside the house and was doing a 4x8 with trains running, inspired by Woodland Scenics. What was it? Scenic Ridge layout, and I was doing my tabletop miniatures also, and kind of combined the two boards together. And then the start of this year, I talked my wife into letting me build, as what's his name put it, a yard barn.
Yeah.
I built a shed.
That was a good one. I like that. Yard barn.
Oh yeah, it's well, this literally is a barn. It's got the barn style roof in it, 6-foot walls, tilt up. Took me about 3 days to build it.
Yeah, I wanted to go a
It
roof
came
like
out.
that for this one too, but it would have put me over my height by 6 inches.
What height do you? Oh, you got 8-foot walls. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got
Actually,
six.
it's
Mine are
8 foot
6.
Yeah, mine are 8
Yeah,
foot
mine are. Yeah, mine are right at 6 foot. Oh, that's something I forgot to do.
6. Glad I could help you.
Nobody's gonna. Well, no, I forgot. I hadn't turned my. I looked up and realized my cove lights weren't on, and with the cove lights not being on, my outside light that lets everyone know I'm down in the shed and not to be disturbed.
I should probably do
wasn't
that on
on.
mine too. So, just so
Well,
the
it
lights
lets them
don't
know whether I'm
touch
sitting
the
on the back porch, vaping or whatever,
Mm.
or if I'm actually down doing stuff on the layout.
Yeah, don't be doing that on here.
No,
Uh,
no. When you said wake up, I was actually in the middle of eating. I
Yeah, I
found
know.
one of my. I found the Kit Kat I had. It was key lime pie that I got from Dragon Lover, because she doesn't
nice.
live that far from me, and I went up to her place this weekend. I had to get some measurements for Renaissance Festival shirt that I'm gonna do for me.
So I'm just going to
So-
take a little break from you. I've seen a lot of HO scale. I've seen a lot of N scale, but I've had a couple people join as members. And I know a couple have been N scale that have gone through. So I'm going to let you guys know the N scale winner right now. So if you guessed N62, which was Jerry Satterelli that picked the number, and apparently that's the year he was born. So keep that in mind. But if your first name is Chris, this might be your kit. N scale. N62. Your first name is Chris. You're a Patreon of mine, actually. So that's another thing, guys. You can join my Patreon, and that also goes right back into these kits and prizes. So, Chris Mitchell, congratulations, buddy. This Kirby kit of a church is all yours. And I just need your address and everything. You know how to get in touch with me because we've been talking. And we'll get together and I'll get this out to you. So there's the N scale prize. Went to Chris Mitchell. Yeah, I wanted to say Kim Mitchell. Oh, wow. I'll put that one down there. And then we're going to get back to you, William, because there wasn't enough people in the chat that said HO scale, so maybe they just didn't want to know who won.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe they'll say it now.
H is a little bit big for most of us.
But
we don't have the room for it.
It's in a smaller box.
Actually, I've got an idea as to why that is. The N scale, they probably have it on one sprue, so they put it in a bigger box. And the HO, they probably got broke down in a couple different sprues. Because I run across that with my Warhammer 40K stuff.
If you actually look at it, the N scale church is a lot bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different church.
Yeah, it is. So, and I get that, but I just like saying HO scale in a small box.
There's nothing small about HO.
It's not O.
This is true.
Everybody's saying congratulations to Chris, and hey, man, way to go on it. Those contests are fun. I love watching them fly by the chat, and I like having them, guys. So, like I said,
oh god, they're fun. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, they're fun to do. I like when everybody else has one too, and I can actually take part. It's kind of cheating when I do my own.
The layout, actually, the way it is now, I've got a roughly 10-foot down one side, or 8-foot down one side. That's my turnaround loop that's 2 foot at one spot, and then it goes into a 4-foot circle, and then it connects over to the 4x8 board. But the one side, the 2-foot side is basically my actual railroad. Everything else is going to be all my gaming terrain and stuff like that goes through, but I'm doing rail fanning.
So Container Man's complaining I don't read his post, so I'm just going back through the chat right now so I can read his post. And right now it's Jack Sparrow coming back, William. Okay, so there's one. He doesn't read my post. Maybe he will yours, Norman Rowe. How am I doing, Container Man? N scale has 2 towers on the church, more pieces. HO only has 1 tower, fewer pieces. I did know that. We just discussed that, Container Man, but you are very observant. I love you dearly, Container Man 68, my favorite brother of all. Right now, when Vinny says hi again, he'll be my favorite brother. You guys can pass it back and forth. So with your layout, I got to say, what's inspiring you to go ahead and make the one that you're doing right now?
Actually, when I built the shed, I looked at it and was like, okay, I have all this room. What am I going to do with it? How do I fill it up? And that's basically, there was no track plan. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. I was doing rail fanning, and I've got 3 locomotives right now. And I plan on just running those 3 locomotives with different stuff on it. One of them is my 484 Union Pacific that I'm doing as a passenger train. And then I've got a Broadway Limited Makota that's going to be my running all my stuff from that I won over the years through YouTube from actually the community over the last 4 years, and those that have inspired me to really do what I do. One thing I plan on doing, and I brought it up to Vinny Friday night, was I plan on, there'll be 1 diesel locomotive on my entire layout, and it's going to be a BNSF, and I'm going to renumber it 6951.
Unacceptable. I should just kick you off this stream right now.
Sparky, that's why I asked you last week, your container that you had that you spray painted Sparky can't talk 107. That's why I asked what it was, because I plan on doing that one, the Canadian National flag, the Rainbow Hopper.
Yeah, those were done by Peter, CP Rail. Forget his last numbers, 8478 or something like that. He did those back when I had my flood. And Container Man actually bought all those hoppers, and he did the logos and stuff on them for me. So that was pretty cool.
I was actually going to do one. I was going to get one of those Canadian National hoppers, and I was gonna do like hand spray paint on the side of it, your logo, and run it with my one train that's all my cars that I got from everybody.
All right, you're off the hook then. So
Well, and then there's Toy Man. I was gonna have him standing with Nancy on the railroad line, rail fanning with Nora. And I mean, Container Man, I'm still trying to find an 18-wheeler to do Container Man on the layout somewhere.
he's
I
probably
have yet to
three of
find
them he
one.
can give you, so.
Well, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop this. I also did a thing this week since it was my birthday Tuesday on the 16th. I broke down and bought a 3D printer.
Oh, cool.
I got the Denny Cubic Photon Mono X and the wash and cure for actually
RJ,
less than what the whole thing was.
RJ, I'm just going to bring you back up for a minute. You don't have to say anything. I'm just going to bring you up to, because your face is flashing on and off. So you must be watching a storm or something. I want to watch
no.
too.
Yeah, I always like watching storms, just as long as we don't have a truck rolling through the parking lot because there's a strong wind.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right?
Yeah, with RJ in it going doink, 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 doink.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I am in a big open parking lot too, so that's kind of scary.
Yeah, I said no talking. So it's
But yeah, that was-
inspiration. Like I said, keep going with the inspiration. Are you going to keep both the trains and your other models? I forget what theirs are now.
The 40K minute. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
actually-
miniatures. That's it.
Yeah, the 25 millimeter. Actually, the way I'm doing the 4x8 layout is going to be the terrain that I'm doing for 40K and for my tabletop stuff is all modular, so I can pull it off, and then I'll have the buildings on the same footprint that I can put in their place whenever I want to do that. So it's going to hold twofold.
Sorry, I'm just doing a bit of chat too. So
Yeah, I was reading Container Man's
I gave
last
up on
post. Oh, I gave up on Container Man a long time ago when he came up with the nickname of Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, it's sticking.
Oh, it's stuck.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm just wondering, should I let the guys in HO know who won?
Yes.
Yeah, we probably should let the HO guys know who won.
I said no talking from you down there.
I know. I can't
He's
help
just giggling.
I know, eh? So
That's why they call me the comic relief.
yeah, Rabel Bell was up on that stream that we did about all that great stuff, and he picked the number for HO scale, and it starts with a 4. So if you guessed HO 4 something, and your name starts with R, well, hell, I'll just do it. Everybody watch the bottom of your screen right now. RJ 78 production.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's great.
So,
You
first
won
time
this
I've ever
very
won
small
anything.
box, very small box with an HO scale kit of a church in it.
wow.
So you got to come up and get it, though. I'm not mailing it
All
to
right.
you.
All right, because I still got your boxcar and calendar too. So.
Yeah, I know. All right, so I finally opened this.
Oh, RJ, what I was going to say is the 611 was actually rebuilt
Wow.
right up the road here. It's the only Spencer, North Carolina has the North Carolina Transportation Museum,
Okay.
and it's one of only, I think it's 2 locations in the country that can work on steam locomotives. So they were doing the boiler stuff for the 611. The day I was there, it was actually supposed to have left the week before for Strasbourg. It got held up by a week because the coaling system that brings the coal from the back up to the firebox
Mm-hmm.
actually broke, and
Okay.
they had to call around to find a place that could make the conveyor belt, redo the conveyor belt for it. So it got delayed by a week going to Strasbourg. So I got to see it with the day before it left. They had it under steam and at the back of the roundhouse. But I think they got the parts for it from Tweetsy Railroad, because Tweetsie Railroad has a steam engines up there, and I think they
Yeah.
build their own parts for their locomotives. If I'm not mistaken,
Okay.
I could be wrong, but it's been so long since I've looked at Tweetsie Railroad and all that, and really even
That's-
trains in general.
That's actually on my
Stuff.
bucket list to go check out sometime because I saw the videos of the Halloween train that they do with the big skull on the front of it.
At Tweetsie?
I'm pretty sure it was Tweetsie. Yeah.
I think I'm losing control of my live stream. It's
sorry.
it's
When
gone.
have you ever had control of your? When have you ever had control of your stream, Dave?
I
I just,
do it up
Sparky,
there.
honestly,
I know.
you give an electrician a control seat. That's not good.
Yeah, then they call us control techs. Oh, gee. Back to your layout because I'm getting past my hour here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna finish her off real quick. Last little bit about your layout and why you're building it the way you're building it. Hey, Brad Anderson, nice to see you.
It was.
And like I said, guys, you got a couple more minutes. Hit that join button down at the bottom, or maybe one of my moderators can post the Patreon. I know Roy was asking earlier what I prefer, if it's Patreon or if it's through here and joining. Patreon's a little bit better. They take 5% instead of 30. So just saying. But if you do it here, you get neat little emblems and stuff beside your name in the chat. So kind of cool. Vinny's leaving because dinner's calling. I know mine is too. So
Yeah. Yeah, the inspiration behind it was just combining my two passions. I mean, I enjoy building and painting plastic miniatures, but then I had those old locomotives, and one was actually a Mini Trix that actually blew up. Unfortunately, it was a 20-year-old DC Mini Trix. It fell apart. It had a cracked chassis. But then I've got either an F7 or an F8 lifelike Chicago Northwestern that really I grew up the Chicago Northwestern line, taking the commuter train into Chicago, and that was really part of this layout. My actual part that I'm doing is as a train layout is going to have the one, like a 2-block area of Elmhurst, Illinois. And I finally found the right train station from Cotto, and I've got it actually on the layout now that I started. I just got to weather it. But there's different nods on that are going to be on the layout to the people over the last 4 years. Like I said, that have the community's brought me in open arms and really helped me with a lot of stuff. I mean, there's stuff Vinny and actually you actually helped me with the NEC controller.
Mhm.
And setting up my DCC. You know, Vinny with my grades and my track laying. And there's going to be little nods to everybody. And I'll end up, most of my stuff is going to be rail fanning. I'm looking right now into getting a GoPro style camera, because being N scale, I only have about 2 inches of clearance on my tunnel.
GoPro might be a little hard, man.
Yeah, GoPros are a little hard to get in there. But yeah, I plan on doing a cab forward and just running the entire line with the locomotive, and it's more or less there'll be cameras up around the shed that shine down on the layout that I can flip through, and kind of like Toyman did with his layout, you know, do rail fanning on, you know, whenever I can get around to it.
I don't know why it's leaving my mind right now, but in California, there's that one club that does remote operations. Something Valley.
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. They
Yeah.
have a camera module that sits on a car, and it's like so small.
Yeah.
He did a live stream there on the weekend and actually showed what the camera looked like. So
Yeah, I found one on Amazon that's 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. That's Wi-Fi. So I could stream it straight to OSB or whatever I decide to run.
people are finding the emojis.
Yeah, they're finding the custom emojis now. Of course, Container man. Yeah, he is a truck driver. He is a little slow sometimes. He's like, how do I access him? And yes, I am gonna pick on Container Man because he has not let up since he and I met.
Oh,
and
he
the
never
first
will.
words
either.
I know. The first words out of his mouth is because he saw the hair and he's like, "You look like Jack Sparrow." And then I showed him the picture from Carolina Renaissance Festival where I've got a pirate's jacket on a trifold, but I'm wearing a kilt because I play a Scotsman at Carolina Renaissance Festival.
I'm just bringing everybody up on the screen now because I'm going to end this in like 5 minutes. So everybody can kind of say hi if they want and everything else. But no, the first time I met Roy, big hug in the middle of the night and all that other stuff. That's great. But first morning when I wake up, he woke me up with a wet willy. So.
Well, we had a fence separating us, so I got off lucky, I think.
Maybe that's what I needed. I needed to lock the door, I guess.
Yeah. Well, he's come through
Friends for life
my area
right there,
about 4 or
Sparky.
5 times over the last 3 years, and I've either been at work or he's been traveling through, going either south or north of me and never in town. So it's kind of fun.
There they all are for you, Container Man. I found them. All right, closing remarks that you guys want to do. Take a couple minutes. William, you're still talking, so go for it, and then just pop off, guys, and I'll finish.
I was gonna say I was done. I was fixing to hop off anyhow because.
All right, get lost.
I have some stuff on. Okay.
Don't you got a boat to catch?
Just for that, I'm gonna make sure I send a really bad transformer your way.
Yeah.
That's an electrician's joke. Yeah, you work on the high line, I work on the low side. You give me my power, and I do with it all kinds of crazy stuff. So, I will see y'all anon, and I will see you on the rail somewhere.
All right.
Bye for now.
Bye, William.
Yep.
All right, guys. I'll catch up to you another time. Thanks for letting me join, Sparky.
Hey, I like the look of your layout there behind you, and I like the idea of putting your school in there too. That's gonna be kind of cool.
It's actually, I just came to something just dawned on me because up on top of the hill here is where I first, where I used to live when I was a youngster, about for the first 5 years of my life. So I might go up there and get a photographs of the original house. So you give me an idea, Sparky.
There you go. That's what the whole community's all about. Just got to sit and talk to that.
I'm just going to put you on one of those lists that's like, beware.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Thanks
thank
again, Sparky.
Thanks for popping up.
Again soon.
Hey, RJ78 that doesn't want his church, so you're just going to let me have it? Well, congratulations on that, bud.
Thank you, and thank you to everybody else who said congratulations. Unfortunately, because I'm using the phone, I can't see the chat unless I bring it up, and then it blocks the screen, and I can't see the screen. So.
it was you and Chris Mitchell that won. Chris Mitchell was the N scale, so that was cool. Like I said, I like having those contests, and got a few more members tonight, so hopefully we can start having them more on a regular basis. And if my Patreon really takes off too, we'll get bigger prizes. I like when I give away locomotives and stuff like that too. So.
Yeah, those are good ones to give away.
Yeah.
That gets more attention.
Yeah. Wow. Actually, the same amount of attention, but.
Well, yeah, true.
Closing remarks
for me. That's everybody's motto. So.
Yeah. How's that storm?
It's dark. There's been a couple lightning strikes. So when I get I'll put the video up. Hyperlapse of storm rolling in.
Cool. And there's your channel name right there on the screen, RJ78 Productions. So, like I said, guys, he does have a video up of the Hopper Challenge. M. Peter LL was in the chat a little bit earlier, but like I said, he's got a new challenge that's just coming out of running a passenger train, and RJ's got some of those too. So,
yes,
never know. Maybe he'll be challenged by somebody else to do that.
Maybe.
So. Closing
right,
remarks, and then I'm going to take off and get something to eat myself. So,
all right. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
All right. Have a good
night.
laugh. Drive carefully, bud. All right, everybody. Thank you. We still got 45 in here, 56 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down. Probably somebody that didn't win. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's all right with me. Every once in a while, I give myself a thumbs down too. So, No, I don't. Not really. But anyway, thanks for joining tonight. Hopefully you guys, it's kind of one of those inspirational videos or chats of where does this stuff come from? Why do we do it? I heard a lot tonight that a lot of it comes from not just childhood, but school days. One was public school. A couple was from high school, crossing tracks, being close to the tracks. A lot of it was growing up. And that's what inspires us to do part of the layout that we're doing. Not all of it. You're never going to do everything that you can remember as a kid. Never. So you pick certain spots of it, selectively compress it down into what you remember until it looks the way you want it to look. And it looks good for everybody else too. So hopefully some people got some other ideas on inspiring themselves to do a model layout. A lot of people just have the plywood out and down. I'm just starting to put the foam board down so I can start on my scenery and stuff like that. It's just one giant step. All you got to do is just take the step and do it. Start doing the scenery. Start doing what you started your layout for. What is inspiring you to do it? And just reach out and do it. The biggest thing that you got to remember is our layouts are never done. Never. Why? Because today I'm going to make a certain scene. I'm not very good at it. But to me, it's going to look awesome because I just did it. It's my first time. A couple of years down the road, when I get better at scenery and doing scenes, my memory might, should I say get better as I get older? I don't know. I start finding books. But you can always go back to what you first started out. Rip it up and start over. We're never done. Always changing something. On that note, guys, I got to say thank you very much. Thanks for everybody that became members tonight. If anybody joined my Patreon tonight, thank you very much. Like I said, we gave away those 2 kits. The Kirby kits are not cheap. Doesn't matter. You guys pretty much pay for them. I just give everything back to you guys. So anything that I get off of YouTube and my Patreon goes into prizes right back to you guys. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we can have a couple more prizes, give those away. Always going to be HO and N scale. And I do have 1 O scale thing to give away. So might be next time that we do a contest. Might be in a month. Who knows? All right, guys. I will see you guys later. Thanks for joining. Have a good night and happy modeling. Bye for now. I wonder where my train is. Where's my train? Love this station. Can you guys see that station? I'll get out of the way so you can see the station. Get rid of that book, too. Kind of cool. Have a good night, everybody. Bye for now. Here, train. There it is. Sorry, I just can't do jack speed. I gotta go faster. Yeah. Just had to go fast. I had to run it fast. All right, guys. Bye.